pre-stream. Apologies for last week. I had a little bit of a vacation, so we missed the stream last week, but making up for it now. Let's jump right in. Looking at ES1 here, obviously the market's been headed down the last 3-4 days, I'd say. But we are seeing some strength in the stock market with ES1 trying to reverse here. We're below the EMAs here, so potentially this is just a bearish retest and further down. But we'll wait to see with that. Over on S&P 500, it's actually cleaner. Almost hit the 200 EMA and bounced off of it. So if we can manage to just chop around in here and let these EMAs come down so price can get above it, or if price is able to push above it, then I think we can continue the up move. But just a little context. Obviously, we're here to look at crypto, but I think the two coincide, so it's good to be looking at both. ETH here, like I said, obviously we had that sell-off. People tried to connect it to Elon Musk selling all the Bitcoin from his company, which seemed to be discredited, so I'm not sure what it was. Doesn't matter much. Obviously, lots of liquidations happened. We took out the June lows, and now we're back above that low. So potential for an SFP here, sort of just sweep, get all the longs out, and sort of rebuild the base here and go back up. Let me... Just want to look at this clean for a minute here. So on the way up, we had this inefficient move here. Most of which, or all of which I should say, was cleaned up by that move down. But the move down itself was also pretty inefficient. Little bounces here and there, but not much. Pretty much a straight down move there. So obviously we have some thin books in this area. Price is able to just push right through it. But with that said, that is going to create some sort of gap, and we have the potential to go back up and fill the gap, especially where we're building a base here. If we're comparing to this low, we fell below, we came back up. I know this would be a trigger for a lot of traders to long, seeing that SFP pattern going on there. But I do think chances are, even if we are going down, I do think we're going to spend a little time in here chopping around a bit and letting that area get a little more activity before either going down or up. And obviously that's not super helpful, but it's something to watch. I think we could sort of try to play this area. I'm tempted to get into some longs down here, and at least play it for like closing the gap and probably take profits pretty conservatively on the way up around 1780, something like that. I'll dial it in more if I execute it, but that's sort of the idea here. But if we're able to make positive price structure in here, we come up, we clear the inefficiency, we come back down, make a higher low, and keep going up, then that's something we need to be looking for, and we might want to buy that higher low, re-enter the long, and enter it more of a swing play versus just a bearish retest, sort of scalp. But yeah, I think that's the most probable thing, is that we're gonna come up here at least a little bit, spend a little more time in this 1820, 1670 area. Also, yeah, it looks like we've got some sort of bullish divergence. Not something that I typically chart, but if I recognize it, it can add a little bit of confluence. So we've got our RSI and stochastic both putting in higher lows, while over here we're putting in equal lows. It's definitely more Luke and Christian's territory, but I believe those are bullish divergences, so that could be some confluence to the idea that we go up from here. Take a look at Bitcoin. You know, similar story. Obviously, they mirror each other to some degree. Right down to the inefficiency here, and inefficiency here. So I would, my analysis is the same of this. Not much different. You know, maybe levels and fine tuning, but overall the main idea here is the same. So that's pretty much my thoughts on Bitcoin and ETH. You know, short term bullish, unless of course, like I said, if this 1640 area, if we fall below that and start closing low time frame candles down there, just get out and wait. Would be my advice. It's weird. Cleared all the drawings and those ones stayed. Alright, but let's look at some other stuff. MC. We looked at this. Oh, let's be honest, we've been looking at this forever. It's one of my biggest long-term investments, so it's something I pay attention to, but I know I've been mentioning it more lately on the stream because I just think it represented such a good value down below 20 cents in relation to their treasury value. So if you did buy some, good on you. You've done well. What was that, probably like 60-70%? Why am I disabled right now? There we go. Yeah, 75%. If you bought it at 20, rode it up to 35. You know, still looking really strong compared to the rest of the market. You know, it's down a higher percent than ETH today, but just looking at this structure, I mean, clearly it's an outlier, and it's managing to find buyers even while the rest of the market is mostly sellers. So interesting there. Yeah, not much to say about it other than that. I'm obviously very bullish on it long term. Short term, it's probably not a price that I'd be looking to buy as far as this chart goes. I would want it to come down a bit more, but long term, I don't think anyone would regret buying at 33 cents. Not financial advice, but that's my thought. And then GMX took a beating. I know I got into it sort of in this move up here. Maybe some of you guys did too. We're obviously trading lower than that now. But I scooped a little bit more today. Just to sort of DCA. GMX is one that, I mean, I've been trading it for I don't know, almost as long as it's existed. A long time. So I've made plenty of money on it. I'm not afraid to give a little bit back and keep at it with GMX. I just think it's a great product, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's a DeFi blue chip that makes money, and I think it's here to stay. So I grabbed a little bit more today, somewhere around this price. I don't know exactly, $36, whatever. So that'll go into my long-term basket. And I covered in the chat my updated strategy with GLP versus the individual GM tokens. So if you missed that, head over to Joey's long-term channel, and you can read what I've done with that and what I think is the best way to keep getting yield out of GMX. What else? Link's been interesting. Okay, so that was the last time we looked at it. Looks like it played out if anybody did this. And we're back pretty much to where we were looking. A little bit higher. Let me just see this. I want to breathe it in. Get the big picture here. Yeah, I mean, obviously Link had a crazy cycle. We go from 40 cents, I think it went to like $60 or something. Yeah, $52. So it's definitely a coin that can run. It has run. It has bag holders. So likely it's not going to outperform the shiny new toys. But again, like GMX, I think Link is just here to stay. This is a blue chip. It's one of those things, you know, depending on the size of your portfolio and how you structure it, you know, I like to maintain some blue chip exposure. And Link certainly fits that description. And we've just got this sideways accumulation. If any of you have been here since 2017, I'm not good with dates, but this is what we saw before our biggest cycle. We had the 2017 run, and then most coins just got sold right back down. They chopped sideways. It was the never-ending bear market, and then once it took off, it just took off. So I do think that will happen with Link at some point. You know, the opportunity cost is, do you want to hold it while it continues to go sideways, where of course there's still risk that it goes below here, nothing's guaranteed, or do you want to wait for the breakout above like 830, get out of this channel and just play the momentum and get in then? You know, that's something you need to ask yourself, what you like to do, what type of trader you are. Myself, I would probably like to grab some Link over the next couple of months, just slowly chip away at it, get a position. Yeah, if I can get it under $6, I think I'm happy with that. That's, you know, the lowest end of this range. I'd be happy to build a position there, and I could be patient. Yeah, I guess the other thing that's going on in the market is this Friend.Tech, the app where you can long and short, or not short, but you can sell shares of people, of influencers, of anybody with a Twitter account. They can make a Friend.Tech account, and their price is based on how many people want to pay to have some degree of exclusive access to, you know, more nuanced content. I mean, the content could be whatever, but it's almost like a paywall for, I would imagine, exclusive content. I know the few people I follow, they put sort of more I don't know, they put alpha in there that's not really like bow tied and presented the same way they would on Twitter. So it's a different vibe. It's more like an ongoing text message with that person, where they're just sending out things they're trading, people on Friend.Tech that they're looking to follow that they think will pop. Right now I think the highest priced person is somewhere just south of 3 ETH, and I think it's one of the devs of Friend.Tech. But like Kobe, who's one of the biggest, Twitter influencers, been here since forever, 2012, I think. One of the most successful crypto traders that I'm aware of. He's one of the most expensive too, and I personally am just not going to pay that much to read text messages from him. But people are willing to pay. I think last I checked, he was like 2.75 ETH. And the thing is, so obviously I operate a paid group. So the difference here is you're more speculating. Like, you can pay the 2.75 ETH. You could go friend Kobe. You buy a share of him. And then I would hope that would be the only thing that would make it worth it, is you get insights, because I think he's one of the best at having the pulse of the market and sort of having a beat on it and know what's going on, what to expect. I like him for his insights for the most part. Obviously, he's made some questionable decisions too, but as far as just directionally, I think he's got a good view. So if I was going to pay the 2.75 ETH, I would want to know that I'm going to get some content from him. But unlike a paid group, where if he opened a paid group and the entry price is 2.75 ETH, that's just a payment for the membership. With this, you're buying a share of him, so you pay 2.75 ETH. You read some messages. All right, you know what? This isn't for me. It's not what I thought it was going to be. You can go ahead and sell it to someone else. You sell it into the market, assuming price stays the same. You don't lose much. So it's more a token-gated access thing versus paying the fee, which is something that took me a minute to wrap my head around, who was getting this ETH and why are people willing to pay this ETH. But you have the ability to sell that share. So if you could speculate, if on day one of Friend.Tech you went on there and you're like, oh, okay, Kobe's on here and he's 0.01 ETH because nobody's on this app yet. Obviously that would be smart to buy him, because he's got a massive following, and once more people come onto this, they're going to want to follow him. And that's probably what happened, something like that. And now he's 2.75 ETH. But that's just one example. You can go on there and you can speculate on who you think people are going to value content from, and then sell your shares to that person. If it turns out that a lot of people want to follow him, the price is going to go up, you're going to have made a profit, and you can sell that share. So it's kind of interesting, kind of fun to play with. I know I put some invite codes in the Discord. I think they all got used up. I think every week you get new ones, but I'm not sure. I've only been on this thing for a day and a half. But if I get new invite codes, I'll put them in the Discord so more of you guys can come in. And you could just search Twitter too. I'm sure there's some floating around on Twitter. All right, we're running a bit long here. That was 20 minutes. I guess I had more to say. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good week. Let's hope the stock market continues to lead us. So far, looking good. yeah, have a good week. Enjoy. Summer's coming to an end. Kids are going back to school, so soak it up while it lasts if you have kids. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye.